This is the twin 70mm Freewing Su-35 with thrust vectoring built in. It's really one of my favorite planes. It can do super maneuverable moves, which most other jets can't do, even though it's an older 4th gen design. But to see it taking off right now, it takes off really well. It's really smooth tracking. Rotation's pretty easy. I have TV off now. I usually keep it off while I'm taking off, and then I switch to high rates and TV on once I get my bearings with the plane. You'll see the first maneuver here, which is basically just a short, quick loop to change direction. Usually when I start flying around, I just want to get a feel for the plane. I think I turn TV on at high rates here. And then once everything is kind of sorted out, then I can start doing more aggressive maneuvers. This first one is a dynamic reposition. It's basically like called a Vacher bell maneuver. So you see it kind of pendulum pitch up in the air, change direction. The next one I think is going to be more of like a Pugachev Cobra, I think, which most people have seen in Top Gun recently. Top Gun Maverick, where the F-14 is going against the 5th gen Su-57 fighters. Yeah, so you see how it kind of just really kind of changes direction in midair, which is one of the cool things about this particular model. And this is the actual move that you saw in Top Gun, the Pugachev Cobra again, or Vacher bell, whichever. I mean, there's so many different names for it. This is just a really low flyby. The thing with the thrust vectoring planes is that you don't get a lot of top end speed because of the thrust vectoring nozzles. You'll get a lot of super maneuverability because the nozzles are linked with the control surfaces, but because of the rotating nozzles at the end, you'll lose a lot of top end, like I said, even if it's twin 70. But you get a lot of good thrust with the maneuvers, so it doesn't feel like it's losing power or it's out of power at any moment. It still really has a lot of punch to be able to do any maneuvers you feel like doing. So you can see like the the flips, the rolls, and these repositioning post-stall maneuvers is something that you don't see other planes being able to do. I recently modified my F-22 Raptor to have 2D thrust vectoring, which means it can go link with elevator or aileron, but it's not linked to rudder. The real one also doesn't have that, but the Su-35 here is what they call 3D thrust vectoring, meaning that has 3 positions. You can link it to elevator, aileron, and rudder, which is why when you see some of the post-stall vertical moves, I can actually reposition in the rudder direction and change the pitch of the plane at any time. I think we're coming in for a landing. Yeah, here it goes. So I usually turn thrust vectoring off for landing so that it behaves more like a real plane. If you have thrust vectoring on during landing, the nose pitches up pretty quickly and it's a little hard to control. So I usually turn it off for landing so you get a really smooth, traditional response from the plane as it descends. So again, this is the Su-35 from Freewing, twin 70mm, running off of 1.6S, between 5,000 and 6,000.